Oh boy, I was so looking forward to this game. I mean, just look at it. But, oh well, I wouldn't really say it met my expectations. It's not bad, it's just really disappointing. But first things first. Hello there, Gamerinos and Gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and this here is Mouse PI. A retro-style shooter with a 1930s Fleischer-style cartoon look. Now, I have a deep fondness for this animation style. I adore it so much. As a kid, I had a few VHS tapes with some of these very old cartoons. The silly symphonies, the merry melodies, and my personal favorite, the one with the balloon people and the evil needle man. So, suffice to say, this game immediately spoke to me the moment I laid eyes on the first promo images. And when it comes to the aesthetics, the game totally succeeds and then some. The character designs are really charming, levels are full of little details like posters, graffiti and other smaller objects or characters on the wayside, that all perfectly fit the mood the game is going for. There are tons of different death animations for your enemies depending on how they were killed, and all those special animations are a ton of fun. And it doesn't even stop there. I mean, we got ash piles on the ground with eyes still staring at you accusingly. It is a real treat. But even though there is a lot of variety with the different animations, there isn't all that much complexity to the animations. Cuphead, this is not. Most animations consist of only a handful of frames. In scenes where characters are talking, they only really move their mouths, though there are some nice filler or idle animations. Enemies for the most part just walk up to you and raise their weapon, with the bosses having a bit more variety to it, but again, there's not too many animation frames. The smoothest animations might be the ones concerning your weapons, be it reloading, swapping or upgrading. They do look really good. So yeah, if you have seen some trailers or still images, if you like the little animation highlight here and are down to get the game, just hold off on that for just a little bit longer. Because, as great as the game looks, and also sounds, damn, the music is top notch and the voice work is great, for the most part. I mean, for the scope of this game, definitely. But when it comes to the most important thing, the gameplay, well, it's rather shallow. Not necessarily bad, but not really something to actually seek out. The gunplay is mediocre, level design nothing to write home about, and enemies uninspired. You're gonna run through essentially linear corridors and shoot a bunch of brainless drones that either stand still and shoot at you, or run straight at you. It might feel like there is more to those levels, they look quite open, and there are a bunch of rooms to explore, but it's more that those are little nukes to the side of your one single path to progression. When Doom levels work somewhat like this, then the levels in this game are more like this. There are quite a few collectibles to find, like lore pieces and baseball cards. There are secret areas, but, well, you will spot those secrets from across the room. The game isn't even really consistent in what it counts as a secret, because there have been some better hidden stashes of money that weren't considered secrets. Looking around for stuff is fun enough, but for the most part, it's a bit mindless, with a handful exceptions. But the game has to commit the cardinal sin for exploration-focused games with placing unintuitive invisible walls right in your way, in places where you are sure you could move forward. Even worse, there are times where you jump over an obstacle and then the game teleports you back because you're not supposed to be there. But then there are places where you need to jump over walls and the like to find a secret. Stuff like that shouldn't happen. Now, a little bit of simple level design isn't all that bad if movement and shooting dudes can make up for that. But as I've already said, it doesn't really. The guns just don't feel impactful in any way. You're just shooting pellets at barely reacting enemies, who after a while just drop dead. In often hilarious ways, but it never really feels like you did that. The same goes for when they hit you. Nothing has any oomph. You might even get surprised by your own death because it didn't feel like you were attacked all that much. As a shooter, it's not special in any way. It's not outright bad, but it does nothing noteworthy. It mostly gets saved by the art style, and even that might not be enough to carry you through the whole game. There's a whole lot of visual variety, but it's mostly just that. Visual. Enemies, even though they change visually throughout the game, don't really get any more interesting. They might survive one more shot, deal a bit more damage, shoot in a different pattern, but everything else stays the same. They move the same, behave the same. And as great as the early 20th century cartoon aesthetic is, the game doesn't do a whole lot with it. It looks amazing, but that's it. There is no cartoon logic going on in the gameplay, no silly bullet flying patterns, no creative abilities to deal with your foes. It's all just pointing and shooting. Yeah, one of your weapons shoots acid or something and melts the flesh of enemies during the canned death animation, but gameplay wise it's just another gun you shoot unimpressive pellets with. I mean, why can't you catch the enemy's bullets with a net or something and load them into your own gun? Why isn't there living ammo that follows the enemies around corners or something? Why can't you load bowling balls or forks and knives into your rifle to make the effects a bit more unexpected? Why aren't enemies riddled with holes after a while, making it harder to hit them? Sometimes you can drop stuff on enemies, but they just die from it. They don't run around flattened, maybe even shoot flattened bullets. This would have been even a neat little mechanic if it could happen to the player. The cartoon look opens up so many opportunities, but the game does nothing with it. Same goes for the story. It's a gritty noir story that makes no use of the art style at all. Everyone speaks normally, like they are normal people and not cartoonish mice.
We had them all of our own ink. Nice homes, white picket fences, big families.
So what happened?
There is a scale in this world, Jack. Invisible, but it's there. Measures us all.
I also heard that the police might be involved. No one knows what to make of it. But maybe someone should.
You follow and look regular people, solve or try to prevent fairly straightforward crimes. Hidden person cases, politically motivated attacks. Where is the outrageous stuff? Where is the guy strapped to a conveyor belt being carried to a pit of mouse traps? You know, because they are all mice. Why don't you have to find a good old cartoon bomb hidden under a fruit cloche at a dinner party? No, everything is so mundane, so bog standard. Damn it, Roger Rabbit pulled this off almost 40 years ago. And here's this game clearly taking inspiration from a lot of successful pieces of media that came before and wastes all that potential. There are some glimpses of more creative ideas, like how the bad guys try to kill the mayor with a huge cannon, which is a neat idea, but all it comes down to is a single button press at the end of the level. No moving the cannon around trying to shoot other targets with it, no assassin sitting in the cannon waiting to be shot at the mayor to do the dirty deed, and you having to take him out and jump into the cannon yourself. Nothing like that. This could have been any other threat and it wouldn't have changed a thing. There is a serious lack of wackiness in this game. The only cartoonish things in here are the art style itself and the way characters bounce up and down the whole time, but that's it. They will never morph their bodies, transform into different things, defy the laws of physics, you know, like Cuphead. Well, as I said, there are a handful exceptions. Like with the somewhat silly assassination attempt, there's also some more memorable characters or scenes to be found. Like the magician's assistant who's still sawed in half in her dressing room. The game comments on that, but that's all there is to it. You don't see her run out of the building with her torso bumping up and down on her legs, or maybe she hops on one arm while carrying her legs under the other arm. Nah, she's just sitting there for one small joke and that's it. And if there were more moments like that, this would have been fine, but as it stands, it's just too little. The whole game is a waste of potential. Not a bad game in and of itself, but also nothing special. And the awesome art style and the many little visual details only remind you of what this game could have been. There could have been more silly movement abilities. Instead, your double jump is just a second jump in the air. No weird sound effect, no trampoline getting discarded and thrown to the ground after your second jump. Your guns could be characters themselves. No, not like the Alien Gun game. And tell you, at times, when you need to reload or congratulate you on your shooting. The same goes for your coat or hat that could react to you being shot. The enemies could be different critters with behavior inspired by their real-world counterparts. Give me gangster cats, police dogs, or maybe pigs. Do something interesting with this amazing groundwork. You could still play the story straight, just have everyone accept the silliness, and you're golden. Instead, we get boring dialogue and uninspired gunfights. At least it's nice to look at. Really nice to look at. And if this is all you want from this game, if you can deal with a mediocre shooter, because it's fun to turn your brain off every once in a while and just point and click on enemies for a bit, all the while enjoying some really neat visuals and dapper music, well, I can understand that. It's those aspects I enjoy about the game as well. And the game isn't all that expensive, especially with how high video game prices have gotten these days. Though, there are certainly better games at a lower price out there as well. All in all, I think the pricing is fair, but if you are on the fence about this game, I'd say wait for a discount and then have a go at it. And with that, I'm off. I wish you a joyful rest of the day. This has been Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next game.